see how this goes exactly. So what's still outstanding? Is this everything? Okay, it's calculating the effects and boom. Peace deal done. Brazil took... Oh, this is the rest of the Reichspakt. Wait, do they have to... Oh, these are all the bits that... Wait, what? Brazil took 57 states, Australasia took 4, Canada took 6, France took 41, USA took 123, Russia took 73, Princely Federation took 7. Okay, there we go. So that is the end of the Reichspakt. And this is now how the world is looking. So if we go to the factions map mode, we can see that the Entente versus the Co-Prosperity Sphere has basically the entire world just split in twain. And then there is also the mighty Undian Pact, which consists of just Colombia. Not much of a pact if there's just one of you. So now we're probably going to give the teams a couple of minutes to reform their front lines. Oh man, Turkey as well. Just split them like completely in half. Here's going to be some very interesting redeployments as the two teams basically angle for positions to start a new war. Hard to get nowadays. Good multiplayer games without rage quit people. Sounds like a good bunch of players you have in this game. Yeah, I definitely agree. Everyone's been remarkably well behaved, which I'm very pleased about. Big kudos to the players on that one. Much more pleasant to be playing with pleasant people. Each preliminary game has a different faction winning the game. I'm interested to see if each of those factions just keep the same faction going into the final. I doubt it. But yeah, that is cool. So we've had a co-pro... Uh-oh. Hot join. Select Nepal just in case. That is something I want to take a look at. Have they even deployed it? Nope. So they do have their submarines out in a very targeted strike against Australasia, which I'm guessing that Australasia just goes around, considering their submarine commander is a level 2, which to me tells me that these submarines have done nothing all game. And Australasia in the meantime. Probably also hasn't done very much. Probably in an effort to not provoke the Japanese. So their submarines have a little bit of experience. He's at least a level 3 and a bit. And Guy Royal's a level 2 and a bit. And then they've got the giant fleet under John Collins, which was probably never even left port. Uh-oh. Spinning wheel of death. No, we're good. Okay. Nations being released. There goes Belgium. There goes Switzerland. There goes Portugal. I saw the pause at the 24-hour mark there. Sweden. Kurdistan. So who's going to start this, I wonder? The only war going on at the moment is the Argentinian-Ecuadorian war. Nice. And this is a true Cold War scenario. There are just 2 major factions left. This is very much NATO versus Comintern too. Except for China and Japan being on the Comintern side, and India. But at the moment, peace now time. I can't see any real reason for a conflict to brew between these two. And in the meantime, we have the latest scores, which are Reichspakt are on 7, Third International are on 2, Co-Prosperity are on 4, but the Entente do lead with 17. So in order, Entente, Reichspakt, Co-Pro, Third Int. Which is actually how I would say that this game has gone. Oh, getting lots of fate of various countries coming through at the moment. So what has Siam been doing this whole time? I don't think I've really seen anything from Thailand. They have a large army of what I imagine would be garrisons. They've just repositioned all of their commanders. So it looks like they've been going for a significant reshuffle in terms of command structures. And like, none of these guys have any experience. Just in terms of the quality of the commanders on the Entente side, that does not bode well. Oh, Siam is AI at the moment. So CoPro are actually down a player. They've got Niche, they've got Vasfu, they've got Pro Australasian player, and then they have Mario. America occupying half of Europe looks weird. Yeah, you're not wrong. Still, the French Republic should be feeling good at the moment. They got the whole of France back. France indivisible. Bunch of political power. War support, syndicalist support, and radical socialist support goes up. Lingering communard influence. I guess that will just tick up to a certain level and then just sit there. But that does remove the anti-communard national spirit. Which is that one. So what's that going to lead to for you, France? Yeah, the rebuilding France focus tree, which is actually pretty big. Very nice, very nice. And they also have the Republic is back in charge. Man, their focus tree has just exploded. I didn't realise that France had so much to do when they retook France. Does Canada have something similar for Britain? Because it doesn't look like it. Nope. Return of the King requires the United Kingdom to exist, and they did not allow that to happen. Oh, it's over. There's my score line. There it is. Refresh. Ooh. Oh man, okay. Interesting. Okay. Back to the game at hand. Oh, that's terrible, Antichrist, and also hilarious. A bad bun wants me to drink some tea. I think I can do that. So I'm still waiting for this war to break out. The Russians setting up a very interesting front line. Immediately conceding a whole... They're just doing full defensive here. You gotta go on the offense, Copro. You're losing. Like, you've basically got to go on the offensive. And the longer that you leave this, the bigger the Entente industry is going to get, because they now control the full industry of 3 factions. Entente, Reichspakt, and Third International is all in the Entente right now. Like, your faction's barely grown at all. You gained, what, Northern Turkey, a little bit of Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, Ukraine, and the Baltics, and Finland. None of which I would necessarily consider to be major industrial powerhouses. Unlike, you know, France and Germany, and Italy. Direct rule from Ottawa it is. I love all the complexity of the Paradox games, but they all seem so difficult to play. I remember playing CK2 for Imperator. Bought them all mostly to support the developers, and someday I'll figure them out. I would say that Hearts of Iron is probably a pretty good place to start if you want to get into grand strategy games more. Quality of the... what are they called? Tutorials and things out there are pretty good. Like the tutorial in the game, not as good as, say, Imperator. I'd say the Imperator has the best tutorial. CK3 probably has the best tutorial now. But there are a lot of tutorial videos and things out there which are pretty decent. And Russia is being forced to release all the things, which is just going to be reducing their industrial capacity even further. Hey, the Netherlands is back! And it kind of looks like they've had to restart the entire focus tree. How's that work? Oh no, they're just continuing down the right stuff. Ship a day tactics, uh-oh. Let me select a neutral. Thank you. Remco lost connection. Of course, Total War is a grand strategy. There is still map painting in it. Yes, the Dutch East Indies can refound the Netherlands. I just wasn't sure how they do that, because I didn't see any decisions or focuses or anything for their completing this. And in fact, they lost all of those territories to Australasia. All of this was Dutch. And now they have just this. Oh, we have justification of war by Japan. Netherlands is in the Entente. So it looks like things are getting ready to go. You see, the USA's army isn't that big. They have some Brazilian expeditionaries. They do have a lot of tanks, admittedly. 24 divisions of heavy tanks, and these things are no joke. Meanwhile, American stability has dropped to 50% because I think they are giving all of, or keeping all of the territories. Then that's going to drop even further when they do go to war. Although this does look like it'll be a defensive conflict because Japan has to go, well, Japan is going for the Dutch. Everyone can get the IDEC bonuses depending on who Canada decides to invest in. Ah, I see. Once they join, the bonus they get from depends on how much they invest each year. Everyone gets it, which is busted as hell for any variant of America. I see. I thought it was simply for the members of the Empire. But I guess that just means that America still is. So we got Chinese... Wait, are those Chinese? They're Thai. No, those are Thai, aren't they? Yeah, Thai. The China's flag is also the multicolour one. But no, those are just AI Thai units because AI is going to AI. Because they are a player down. I was going to say, let's take a look at the factory differences here, but we can't really. I mean, we could look at the individual major powers. So Russia has 408. America has 733. China has 215. Japan has 213. Siam has 138. India has 114. Australasia 100. National France 137. Canada 240. Brazil 167. 725. Building a lot of Air Force bases on the front line. I wonder why. Why could they possibly want to have 200 civilian factories worth of air bases on the front? I couldn't possibly imagine. I still haven't given this guy the extra attack. So how long until Japan gets their conflict? USA is justifying against Russia. So I guess that Japan is already justified against the Dutch. I then just didn't declare. Yep. You can't be so passive again. Co-Pro, you are losing. And the longer you give the Entente, the more they can just build up. So we know America has the 24 heavy tank divisions. What is... For Pete's sake, Russia. Russia has 18. And a woefully overworked infantry commander in Shatilov, who's going to have penalties for his entire army because too many troops in general. Where's a field marshal line? I mean, I've got to give them credit. They are using Wrangle. And in Wrangle we trust, but I don't think that even Wrangle can bail them out of this one. Who had 1% stability? Oh, jeez! 2% stability now for the Americanos. Probably because they're getting all kinds of requests to demobilize and stuff like that. And they're like, no! Absolutely not. Oh, they actually did build a bunch of radar in Britain. And in France. This very much is the calm before the storm. What is their resistance on Germany? I mean, their resistance is going to be pretty painful. Civilian oversight, which does mean that the resistance numbers are going to go up and up and up. At the moment, they've only lost 7,000 men. But that's because resistance has only just begun. So if we go and take a look at... not France, Germany. Oh heck, Austria. Austria, it's 25, 26%, which is actually better than I expected it to be. It's because the compliance is actually growing. Because they're not at war with anyone. And then Germany, yeah, it's going to be higher, 25 to 40. But already compliance, like 9% compliance, that's rising really quickly. Controller of peace, 10%. Psychological warfare, plus 25. German imperial spirit, minus 25. High compliance. Tiny little effect. And resistance. Why is resistance not higher? Low stability is adding. Yeah, that's true. State victory points, civilian oversight, compliance, resistance target, 40% base value, 35. Yeah, it's because the resistance from the neighbours hasn't spread that much yet. It's gonna rise. Are they doing spies to drop the resistance? Not really. Who's the Entente Spy Master? Must be Canada. Brazil? Australasia? It's Australasia. Hadn't really expected that, but okay. Cheers from Sweden. Cheers to you in Sweden. I will definitely drink to that. Be interesting to see how or if the Entente leverages the Navy versus the Co-Pro. True. One thing we can probably check on is naval deployments. They've not done anything. I mean, the only one that's... not the only one, but the one that's been really active with naval power is the US. And they have moved a lot of ships over here. They are still protecting Europe. -6 stability. I didn't even realize it could go negative. Wow. Low stability. 11% penalty. And yes, apparently stability can very much go negative. And Japan? Nothing. Nothing at all. Canada? Nothing in particular. I mean, they're deployed. Surface raiders. Are they surface? No, they're convoy escort. And then they got recon. They got raiders. Not a huge number of them. They've just set everyone onto patrol. Even if they're doing convoy raiding, as I imagine they probably were up there. And then they have their big fleet here. Under Cunningham, who is pretty good. He's had a couple of battles, so Canada's definitely been involved. France has been building submarines. Not done very much with them. Brazil. Brazil does have battleships. He's got them on Strike Force. All of them on Strike Force. Okay, I don't think that Brazil knows how navies work. That ain't going to do anything if you don't have anyone spotting. Then who else do we need to see? Siam. No navy. India. No real navy to speak of. Russia. couple of destroyers running around in the Baltic. Their surface fleet woefully inadequately protected by destroyers, not really doing much. They have a couple of submarines in Vladivostok, or the Pacific front anyway, and then also a couple in the Black Sea. So Russia does have naval capabilities. GoPro needs to do something fast if they want to win. Yeah. Yeah. I just noticed Russia's out of oil. Well, that's good, as more is about to start. Bloody hell, are you out of oil? You're not. Oh, you're probably still refueling units. You probably used all of the oil that all of your troops had, and the oil is going to replenish their local reserves first, and then it will go into the main reserve. Either that, or we're horribly out of sync. Minus 29. USA is full on oil. 1,148 oil. Crazy. Oh, Russia's probably exporting it all via Lend-Lease to Japan. Yeah, I reckon that's probably what's been happening here. Because they're not using any, but they also don't have any. And Japan's sitting here on full, so right now they're just kind of wasting reserves. They probably haven't reset the Lend-Lease. CoPro hasn't acted like they wanted to win at all, they've acted like they want to survive. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Japan has actually built some troops. Madness! That's not allowed. That's illegal. You're not allowed to have troops. Oh hey, it's Carlist Spain. Oh, Kingdom of Spain, right, yeah. What's Belgium doing? Nothing with the Navy. 7% stability on Belgium. Building military factories in Brabant. Dutch aren't looking much better. You'd think the USA would release more miners in the Balkans, etc. to help with the stability drops. I suspect they're not doing it because they want to be building as many air bases and things out there as possible, so they can make use of their absolutely outrageous air superiority. Because right now, Canada's sitting on 25,000 fighters against Japan's 7. That number does not seem to have gone up in like a year. That's all they got. Do I think the naval trait acquisition is too slow? It feels to me like the only time I see acquired traits in multiplayer is no fuel battle exploits between Italy and Greece. No. There are some traits where it's definitely too slow, like Ironsides is really hard to get. And it's basically impossible to get the spotting one. Because generally if your ships are doing recon, they're not fighting. So you need to get recon experience for spotting ships. Which I think they're supposed to get, but it doesn't feel like they do. It feels like the only experience you actually get is during a battle. Well, this is getting a little dull. I'm pretty sure that both sides have now had justifications against them. So USA is still justifying. I wonder as soon as if the US is justified if they'll go to war. It's going to take them 125 days. Jeez. Paused because of a lack of political power. Okay, so that justification is never going to happen. And it's quite clear that CoPro does not want this war. Belgium is way more stable than the USA, true. I mean, the USA is now at a mere minus 47% stability. Can we listen to the recruiting sergeants from the Entente playlist? No, because most of the soundtracks in the Kaiserreich thing are copyright. So I don't even have them installed. Project Hades, thank you very much for the follow. Comrade Shamrock wants me to drink some tea. I think that can be done. If you don't mind me asking, when is the game with Yugoslavia of Midgeman on Paradox channel being continued? Tuesdays. So we're now on the summer schedule, so those games are Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays. The Princely Federation changes the diplomatic status with us. Justify. So Princely Fed is now trying. Even though Japan has one already done, so this is a bit of a moot point. 125 days again. Declare war on the Netherlands, can't you? Oh no, you can't. You can do a justification way frickin' faster than 125 days, though. Russia in Sweden. No, Sweden's on their side. What about Norway? They also don't have political power. Oh, come on. I think the Entente's happy to sit out the clock. Yeah, I agree. And quite honestly, if this hasn't broken out in the next 3 minutes, I probably call this stream to an end. because this is all time I could be spending preparing for my D&D game, which I've already delayed because of this. In fact, I think I'm going to go and tell the admins that I'm going to go and do that. In just a second. Hey guys, I'm probably going to bow out because I need to do some preparation for my D&D game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. It does seem that Entente is content to set out the clock.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Alright.
Right, I'll see you guys later.
Yep, see you next weekend, Mordred.
And thanks again.
Good night.
Thanks again for organising and making sure everything works and stuff. So you guys are awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for streaming.
Yeah, no worries. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this, then please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out, lets me do more of this kind of content. You can, of course, check out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a Discord, which you can find at discord.com/MordredViking, and also a YouTube, which you can find at youtube.com/MordredViking. I am going to go and play some Dungeons & Dragons. We do stream these games over on the Digital Dragons GM channel, which we are going to go and raid in just a moment. Now, obviously, it's not going to be live for another hour. We're going to be starting at midnight tonight BST, so in 1 hour from now. But if you want to hang out and watch some Dungeons & Dragons, then please do consider hitting the follow button when you head over there so that you get those notifications when it does go live. And I'll probably bring it live about 15:15, so 45 minutes. Let me read through my notes, maybe grab a bite to eat, that type of thing. We will be playing again next week. This was the Preliminaries, which obviously the Entente is probably going to win. And the Entente plus the winners of the other 3 groups will be facing off in the grand final, which will be taking place next weekend. So stay tuned to the Discord announcements for more details about those, and all of the information will be over there. I think that's all I got for now. I'm kind of letting the clock run down so that I know you guys are hearing what I'm saying, so I can then start raiding Digital Dragons without it just being not happening. No delay D&D. Exactly. Not allowed to do that. So, midnight tonight, we'll be doing some Dungeons & Dragons. I'm going to start raiding Digital Dragons now. And remember, hit that follow button. Cool. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next week. Until then, bye everyone.